Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 6th, and today I listened to Doolittle by Pixies. Or The Pixies. It should be The Pixies, but for some reason it's just Pixies on all the descriptions I found of them. This is one of those, rock albums I'd never heard of, but people are like, no, you gotta listen to this one. Like, the real big bands, they were listening to this and inspired them. Apparently, this album inspired acts like Nirvana or Smashing Pumpkins. I have listened to a few of these types of albums so far for Album April, and they are pretty hit or miss. You got some really good ones, like Remain in Light by Talking Heads or In the Airplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel, that still really hold up. Then you got other ones that don't really hold up, like The Queen is Dead by The Smiths. This unfortunately falls into the miss category. This is the first dud of 2025's album April. It's so bizarre listening to fawning descriptions of this album because one thing that I kept hearing over and over is their innovative use of the quiet loud dynamic. And while I have no doubt that this was something they did all the time, it was definitely very common in this album. It's also something I don't even think you could call a musical technique. It is fairly common for songs to be quiet at some parts and loud in some other parts. Apparently, the sound was a big influence for Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I guess I can kind of see it, but Smells Like Teen Spirit was also a lot more melodically sound than pretty much anything I heard from Doolittle. However, I will say, one thing that Nirvana and Pixies have in common is that they both had really good bassists. There were a couple good bass licks on this album, I will give them that. I'm looking at the track list and I just realized that if you were to just look at the song titles, you would assume that this is like a death metal album. We got song titles like Wave of Mutilation, I Bleed, Crackety Jones, There Goes My Gun, Gouge Away, Dead. Some of the songs are pretty aggressive, but it's not like super dark thrash metal. It's basically just like kind of loud punk rock. Out of all the songs in the album, my favorite was probably the song Hey, because that was the most, melodically stable song on the whole thing. I can't really remember how any of it goes, but I do remember thinking, oh, this sounds okay. Overall, this is just one of those albums where I really do not see where all the hype is coming from. The people in the UK really love this album. NME has, I think, called it the second best album of all time. Okay, I looked it up. They said it was the second best album of all time in 2003, and then later, in their 2013 top 500 albums of all time, it dropped down to number 8. And can you guess what number 1 was? It was The Queen is Dead by The Smiths. I swear I did not set that up ahead of time. But when you compare it to The Queen is Dead, that was an album that I legitimately disliked. This I just didn't really get. But either way, it's not something I would recommend, and it's not something I'm going to go back to. I can appreciate that it inspired a lot of other music, but the stuff it inspired was a lot better than the original, at least to me. Alright, thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.